Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, my computer's a little bit slow right now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, it's started recording sharing. Yeah, we can see now. Yes, we can
Okay,
see
that's
your
great.
screen.
Okay. So welcome to our fourth class. Welcome everybody. So, over the past three classes, we've covered like each of the pieces and how they move. And I should probably actually do the homework first. Sorry, I forgot about that. Um, just quickly do the homework. Okay. So we have this one, and then so white pawn, take piece. So I imagine you guys got this. You just take, all right. I'm not gonna go over these. This is just to see if you know how the piece moves. What I do want to go over is these checkmates. So I did leave a mate in two as homework, as because I saw during class that you guys made significant improvement in like calculation. You were able to solve mate in ones very easily. So yeah. So there was only one made in two, the rest are made in one. This one is still made in one. So let's do this. So white to move made in one. Um, what's the consensus here for this move? How do we made in one?
He asked the question. You guys should reply.
Um, Sorry, I didn't like hear very clearly, but I heard rook G, and there's only one place the rook can go on the G file. So yeah, this is the correct move because you're showing like you're essentially revealing this attack onto the black's king, and you also cover black's like escape squares with your own rook. So this is the way to checkmate in one move. Yep. Um, let's just go quickly here because there's a lot to go over today. This is the next position, and it's like this. So what do you guys think is the way to checkmate here? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good job. So the pawn G7 and then the rook delivers a check and everything's defended. Okay. You see, good job, good job. This is checkmate. Um, we have this one. This one was a little bit tricky. You needed to see, look very closely at the board to see it. So what's the idea here? To see here? I'll assume that you meant C this place. So this is C3. And this is correct because this is the only move that checkmates, and this pawn covers like this remaining escape square for the king. Uh, Okay, good job, guys. And we have one last checkmate, and this was our mate in two. Okay, white is up a lot of material, but it's also very difficult to find this mate in two. So I'm not gonna actually I will ask you guys, did you guys have any ideas for this one? Remember, think of forcing moves, or I hope you guys like thought of forcing moves. Okay, rook b1. Rook b1 is actually really good, but I don't think it works, unfortunately. Rook b1, black can move his knight away, and then this knight can cover this check square. So unfortunately, this is not made in one from this position. So yeah, for the purposes of time, I'll tell you guys the answer. So you'll notice that white's king covers like all three of these squares. So there's no need to worry as long as you keep your queen on this diagonal. And it also involves sacrificing this bishop because right now it's not doing a lot. So the move is queen to f3 check. There's two scenarios. Number one, if black takes your bishop, um, I won't ask you guys this question. I'm sure you got it. There's rook d1, checkmate, and you see black's king is completely covered. And there's also knight d3, knight e3, in which case you just take it, and black's king again has no more moves, and this is checkmate. So by playing queen f3, you are essentially playing a forcing move, and this move will lead to like forced mate in two. Okay, so this is um a little bit harder because it requires calculation. You see into the future. You see either it goes here or here. No matter what he plays, I will have checkmate. So that is the idea of forced mate and or like mate in two, these mating tactics. Um, we're going to take so now that we've covered all the pieces, we're going to take a step back from doing tactics. I would just want to formally introduce you guys to notation. So currently, when you guys describe a piece, I hear like move the pawn to square. So that's already really good, but let me teach you like the proper way to do it. And this is the way you'll see in like a lot of um like real chess games are written, is written in this algebraic notation format. So the way this works is you see these small letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and the small numbers going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have these numbers and these letters, and that means that each square gets its own number letter combination. So the way you check it is if I pick a square at random, I get this one, okay? So from this square, you check, check, check. This is C, and you go across. This is 6. So this square is named C6. Okay. What's this square called? Guys, what's the name of this square? The one that has a green circle in it right now.
E1.
E1? Okay. What about this one? Yeah, this one's G7. Good job, good job. Okay, and one more. Let's do this one. Yeah, I heard D8. This is D8. Okay, so you guys know the names. I'm pretty sure like you can figure out the name of all the squares. And now when you guys describe a piece, like a move, so when you guys are essentially responding to like my questions, I'm now gonna like make you guys say it in this specific way, okay? So if you move a piece to a square, you say piece name to square. So this is knight to, what is this square? What's this square, guys? G6. Yeah. So if I mean like, if I want to say this move, I move my knight from F4 to G6. So I just played the move knight G6 or knight to G6. And this is um this is written as knight we can't use K. Although the word knight starts with K, we use N because king starts with K. So we use N G6. And this is how it will look like on official games. And it's very similar with everything. If you play queen G6, it's going to be queen Q G6, okay? And king is K, so K to a square is K E3, king E3. So when you see this, you say the word king E3 and you say queen G6, okay? It follows like a very distinct pattern. And if you move like the rooks, this is rook to H4. So this is going to be R as in rook to H4. And finally, bishop, let's say bishop to B4. So this is bishop to B4 like that, right? So very simple, very simple. Um, it gets a little bit more complicated though. So firstly, just to review again, actually, so these five pieces. Oh, I forgot knight. Knight. Oh, we did knight first. Okay, good. So rook is R, bishop is B, king is K, knight is N, and queen is sorry, Q is queen. So yeah, so just know that these pieces correspond to like this piece. But now you're asking, what about the pawn? Pawn, because there's only one pawn on every like file, that means we don't need to like give it a specific name. So if you made this move, this is just E4. You could say pawn E4, but it is written as E4, okay? And this move is written as B3. You just say like essentially you say the square it lands on. Okay? So that's pawns. Now let's talk about captures. Captures is just indicated by an X usually, like N. Usually this move is N D5, right? But instead, since it's a capture, you took something on this square, it's going to be NX D5. When you say this out loud, it's knight takes D5. Okay, so you say knight takes D5, knight captures D5, anything works. Same goes with like every piece, rook captures, rook takes C6, rook X C6, queen, Q X F7, queen X F7, right? So you say queen X F7 out loud, but you would write down Q X F7. But what about pawns again? How are we supposed to like show? We say this like letter that is started on to the new letters to the square. Essentially, this pawn is like its letter. And if you think about it, you can't have like two pawns that would this like defines the move because you can't have two pawns that take from the same letter to a different letter that they can both take. So because otherwise they would be on the same square. Um, it's a little bit confusing, but just remember that use the letter to define it. So you have E takes D5, EX D5 like that. Okay. And squares, so you would write it like NX D5. All these squares are like lowercase, right? And pawns are lowercase and the X is lowercase, but all these pieces names are uppercase. But it doesn't really matter. It just do as long as you can understand it, like any way you write this is fine. You just need to be able to like distinguish between everything. Okay. We have two special moves in chess. Um, Throwback to last week, castling. Castle's king side is O dash O. Queen side is O dash O dash O like that. Okay. So again, O dash O. And then queen side is O dash O dash O. Okay. Any move that attacks the king, check, is given a plus. So if I move this bishop from here to here, that is bishop A5 plus, or like bishop A5 check. So I would call it bishop A5 plus. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. And then so yeah. So I'll test you guys on some moves, I guess. So remember You say piece takes square if a piece takes a square, or piece two or piece goes to or piece square if you want to say like a move there, like king e2, king 2 e2, king moves to e2 like that, or d takes e5, or pawn takes e5 like that. That works. Okay, so let's see, what would you say if I moved to there like that? Remember, you have to say that this is a piece, right? It's not a pawn. So yeah, and it would be nc4. If you don't want to say like n, you can say knight, but only when you're speaking. When you're writing, you have to write n, okay? So nc4, knight c4, any way you say it is fine. What about this move? Yeah, bishop h8. Good job, good job. Bishop h8. Okay. What about this move? This one, like that. Yeah, you can say pawn takes d5, or if there were two pawns, you would have to say like e takes d5, okay? Remember, the pawn is usually defined by the file it's in. So this is pawn takes d5 or e takes d5. Either one works. You just want to avoid confusion. Usually you say e takes d5, okay? And what special character is given to like this move? Because it's attacking the king. Right. So what does it do to the king? I think I heard it. I think I heard check, right? So you have to say, or I guess you don't have to, but you should. It's good to say bishop a5 check. And you would write it down bishop a5 check. Just to denote that it's check. So it's easier to like reference. Okay. Okay. That's notation. Um, if you guys have any questions, um, actually, if you guys have any questions about it, please ask now. Otherwise, I'm gonna move on to main lesson today. So, no questions? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the fun stuff. Okay. Today we're gonna, so all the tactics that I've been showing you over the lessons, they've all been like, mate in one, mate in two. Um, they've all been like mate in one, mate in two, right? But how exactly do we get into those positions? If you think about it, our opponents aren't just going to sit there and let us like, take all their pieces and get into this position. So there's some ways in which we can like forcefully take our opponent's pieces. We call these tactics. They're little like mm, formats, or like, I'm missing the word here, but they're like patterns that repeat, and where like pieces can take like you can gain material essentially. Like you could take pieces for free. Let me show you an example. So in this position, mm, In this position, white is up a queen for a rook. That's pretty hard to win. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna win that rook for free in one move. I'll show you how. You go queen f5. And what this does is it is attacking the the king and the rook, right? But since it's check, the king has to move, right? The rook can't move to defend itself. The king has to move. So as the king moves away, the rook is free, right? The rook can't move away because the king is under attack. So the rook is free. So you win material. And yeah, so this is called a fork. And a fork is good because it's usually done like you attack two pieces at once. And then when you attack these two pieces at once, you essentially at least gain one of them for free. Another very common example is these two pieces, two minors, for like two pawns. And as you push your pawn, you're attacking both of them. You can only move one of them away per turn, right? You only get one move per turn. So as you move one of them away, I get to take the other one for free. So these are examples of what we call double attacks, where you can use one piece to attack two pieces at once. What? Okay. I'll keep going. If you guys... Okay, interesting. Okay. So these double attacks are good because you'll be able to gain material because black can only make one move a turn. But as he uses that move to do something else, you get to have the other piece for free. And usually this is done with a piece like a king, where you have this like this formation and you go like this and you attack both pieces. But notice that one of them is hanging. And as the king moves away, you get to take right? The rook can't do anything to like get itself out of danger because the king is currently the one under attack. So as the king moves away, you get the free piece. All right, it's your turn now. So it's white to move in this situation. How do you win black's rook? And try to say it in like the notation. Okay. I heard the right move, but I think your audio is kind of breaking up. It's kind of really choppy. I heard queen f5. Good job. This is the right move. And I'm sure you guys understand why. You're attacking both the king and the rook. And but the king can't move to defend the rook. So you get them for free. Let's do another example. It's gonna be like this. Okay. Again, same way, win the rook. Oh, QD2 is interesting. Very interesting. It does have the objective. You attack two pieces at once, but another thing you might want to avoid is that like black can also move, right? So in this move, he can take you back with this rook, and suddenly you plundered a queen. Okay, so maybe another square. Remember, the rook moves like this. You have to take advantage of its limited mobility. So queen d2 unfortunately results in the queen being able to be taken by the rook. Where else would you go that could do like the same task, but not in the rook's path? I hear d6. D6 is this one. I don't think you guys mean that. Yeah, I think it's d5 you mean. Yeah, d5 is the right move. So I think, yeah. So from this, we learned that we have to be careful about like our opponent's moves, right? Because it's not just us that's playing the game. We're also playing an opponent. So we can't like put pieces in harm's way. So it's not good to go queen d2. Instead, you want to note the fact that the rook can't move diagonally like the queen. So the queen can take like this. Another piece that's really, really, really good at double attacks is next. Okay. And before we move on, I just want to tell you guys that essentially down here, you'll see the pieces ranked by importance. So the queen is better than the rook, which is better than the bishop, which is better than which is like about the same as the knight, which is better than the pawn. That means it is always worth it for you to take a bishop with a pawn. You're not afraid that it gets taken back. To take a rook with a knight, okay, or a queen with the rook. All of these trades are in your favor. Okay, so and also of course you like knight takes queen is good, pawn takes queen is also even better. So in this position, how do you win black's queen? The knight cannot move to g6 right now. Again, the knight moves like this. So, yeah. Think of double attacks. I heard it. Knight e7. Knight e7 is a double attack. You're checking the king and you're checking the queen. Okay? So this is good. The king has to move because it cannot like get rid of this knight. As it moves, you take the queen. Good job, Remy. Okay? And sometimes you don't have to take the queen. Sorry, you don't have to keep the king or double attack. Let me show you an example that starts very early in the game. So if you have like this position and then black plays like this, let's say black wastes a move. And now it's your turn. How would you win at least a rook? How would you essentially make a double attack? That's how I'll be phrasing it from now on. How would you make a double attack? Okay, I'm hearing knight h7. I'm not sure if that's right. Knight h7. Remember, whenever you do a double attack, you want to attack pieces of higher importance. So, like the bishop and the knight are about the same. So, knight h7 doesn't really do anything. Plus, it's going to be like taken back. So, you essentially lost a knight for a pawn h7. Instead, I'm pretty sure I also heard it, but like the idea is knight f7. Firstly, the king cannot take you back because it's guarded by the bishop. If the king take you back, he take his king, game over, right? He's not allowed to do that. So now that your knight is essentially like it's safe here, now you're attacking both of these pieces at once. He's gonna move the piece of higher importance, which is his rook. Sorry, not his rook, his queen, obviously. He moves his queen away, and then you get to take his rook for free. And essentially you just won his rook because you attacked the queen and the rook at the same time. And he chose to save his queen, but now the rook's hanging, so you take his rook. Okay? Yeah. Let's do some more. Let's see. Can you guys find the double attack here? I don't know if I heard it. Again, make sure you have like pieces. You want to have pieces of higher importance, trade them for pieces of lower importance. So you want to trade like queen for any of these pieces, rook for any of these. These two are about the same. So it should be like this instead. Like they're about the same. Bishop for pawn, knight for pawn are all good trades for you. They're favorable trades. Okay, I heard it. E4. Sorry. Like, I don't know if you guys are like saying stuff because it comes in like bursts. So sometimes like you guys say stuff and it sounds super quiet over there. Sorry. Yeah. So e4 is right. You're attacking both pieces at once, and as you like move piece away, you have to move only one. And let's say you take and you quick count, you are up one knight right now. After he takes back, you are up exactly one knight, and that's enough to win the game. Okay. Yeah, good job, everyone. Okay, let's do one more double attack before we move to another type of puzzle. So, how do you win Black's rook in this position?
Where is it? Oh, the English teacher. I think I have to go to the
I heard it. Good job. Okay, but just one thing. This square is e4. Okay, so I know what you guys meant, but you'll also be able to play it in the game. That's what's important. You not necessarily have to say it correctly, but it's just good to know how to say it. So bishop takes e4 is correct, and it's because it's checking the king and the rook. And as you move the king away, you get to take the rook for free. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So I think you guys have double attacks down. Again, it's just using a lesser value piece to take a higher value piece, et cetera, you know? So let's talk about pin. So you might notice that some of these pieces have like really long ranges. And it would be good if we could like, you know, have it so that moving it like a certain way is bad. So what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? Let's say there's like a queen here, right? And a knight here. I don't want to move the knight away right now because then I could take the queen, right? The queen is obviously more important than the knight. So in this position, this knight can't move. But right now, it's bad to take the rook. Sorry, it's bad to take the knight with the rook because the rook is more valuable than the knight. But what if I used a lesser value? What if I used a lesser value piece to attack this knight? I'm essentially threatening it. If you move right now, I take your queen. If you don't move right now, I take it with less value piece, a pawn. And this is the essence of the pin. We call this a pin. It's like you stick a pin into the knight, and the knight can't move anymore. It's like if I'm pinned here, I can't move, right? It's like I'm stuck. So the knight is stuck. And this works with almost everything. So you can pin like this, you attack, you put pressure on the pin piece, essentially you use more and more pieces to attack it, and this piece almost becomes free. There's also instances where the king is behind the piece, and you're already using a lesser value piece to attack it. So it's like bishop is like this, right? The bishop is pinning into the king. The queen can't move because then the king would be under attack. So the queen has to sit here and wait for the bishop to eat it. It's very nice. It also works like this. The rook is in front of the queen. The rook moves. I take your queen. So the rook is like, I want you to take me with the bishop. Right? Okay, makes sense. Let's try some tactics, okay? Pin is pretty easy. I'm sure you guys got this. Let's see. Win this knight. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Bishop A4. B4. You guys said it correctly as well. You're making it that if the knight moves away, I eat the king. So black's not allowed to do that. So he can't move. And in this move, he can't defend his knight. Next move, we win his knight. Very, very good fight. Okay. Good job. Good job. Let's see now. What about win this queen? Again, this is like the hierarchy of values. Okay. I heard it. I heard it. Good job. R-E-Y. What this does, again, queen into the king. Queen can't move away because then the king would be under attack. And rook is worth less than the queen. So the queen takes. You essentially profited off of this trade. You made money, or I guess you made chances to win. So now you have a better chance to win since you are up material in this position. Okay, good job. I think you guys are understanding. What about in this position? What about now? I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's RB8. Interesting. But also remember, guys, black also can move his rook, right? So in the move that you just played, he's going to take your rook. And that's not good because that rook was free. Yes, good job. So it's attacking both these rooks. Either way, if you move or you don't move, I'm going to be able to trade a bishop for a rook, which is profitable. it's a good trade for you because a bishop is worse than a rook. So you take, sorry, not that, take, and now you're up pieces and you're probably going to win this game. Okay, let's try one last one. That was pretty interesting because you see that I don't have to essentially pin something to like a better piece. I just need to pin it so that any move he makes, I'm gonna profit, I'm gonna get like pieces or like his pieces for my worst pieces. This is kind of hard to explain in like money terms. Let's see. Let's do one last one. Okay, brief introduction to this puzzle. If you take like a piece like this is a trade because the knight and the bishop are worth about the same. So if I were to, take, he would take back, right? I just gave up a bishop, he gave up a knight. So I'm not making any money per se, so I don't want to do that. Notice right here, the knight is pinned, so it can't move. So we essentially have a couple of free moves to make it so that this knight is free for me. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of ways to do it. I'll accept any of them. Q where? Sorry? I think you mean here, E2?
Yes.
Okay, I'm hearing yes. QE2, this is a good move. I'll show you, and any of these moves work. Queen B4, Queen C3, Queen C1, Queen E4, Queen E2, Queen F1. If you thought of any of these moves, they all work. I'll explain why in just a second. So if you did, congratulations. As long as you attack the knight with a move, the knight cannot move away, right? Otherwise, I'm going to take his queen. So he's going to do something, but it's not going to involve moving his knight, and it's not going to involve defending himself. So let's say he moves away. Now you get to take the knight for free. And this is good. It's a free piece. You get more chances to win. Right. Now we're up material. Okay. That's nice. That's always nice. And any of these moves work, you realize, because like as long as you're attacking it, he doesn't have anything to do except sit there and wait for you to take it. So yeah. Okay. Now you might be thinking, this is a little like complicated, Vincent. Like, how are we gonna like find like all these different ways to attack pieces? And then you might be thinking, what happens if the more important piece is in front of the less important piece? This is called a skewer. I'm pretty sure you guys know what skewers are, but they're like, you see, they're like food on stick. So it's like on a line, it's like a bunch of food on a line, right? So you see that the pieces are in a line. So, and you're attacking the more important one this time. So it has to move, and it leaves the less important one undefended at the back. And very similar to pin, it deals with straight line pieces, rook, bishop, knight. Sorry, no. Rook, bishop, queen. And it always has like the undefended at the end, or like better trade for you at the end. Essentially, you're always going to make a profit on this transaction. The most important part of tactics is you want to make a profit on pieces. Okay. Let me show you an example. Let's do this. Okay. White to move, skewer. Yeah, I heard R-F-1. This is good. B1? Okay, F1 it is. F1 it is, I guess. So, because you're attacking the king, right? And as the king moves away, the queen is left hanging in the back. I also want to show you guys a very fancy way to do this. You can castle king side, and the rook still ends up at F1, and it delivers this check. Right. It's the same thing, but a bit fancier because you get to castle. Okay, let's see. Oh, shit. What about now? Let's find a way to I heard it. I heard it. Bishop E4. This is right. Again, you see the more important piece in front of the less important piece in the line. Immediately think, how can I use that to win me material? Same way, this also works with the queen. Because if the king moves away, notice that in one move, I can't defend the queen unless I went here. But if I went here, it's still in check. So it can't defend the queen, and you get to take it for free. Okay. Very good, very good. Let's do it this way now. So it's like this. Same thing, you know. White to move, win some pieces. And I think this is going to be our last one because we have a lot to review. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
QFC.
QF. 6?
Yes.
The queen can't go there.
Oh, no,
F5?
F5.
Queen can't go to F5 either. Wait. Queen G5 doesn't do it. You are attacking the knight, but the knight can move away. I'll show you guys the right answer since we're a bit low on time. So So you see, the bishop can go here. This is the same thing. More important piece in front of less important piece, right? Does it make sense? The queen moves away. Okay, queen moves down. You take. All right, go again. Skewer again. Or actually, I think it's a pin this time. Let's see. Let's test it. It's like double tactics.
What is it?
I heard it. Rook b8. This is very good. You see, you're pinning the weaker piece to the better piece with your queen. If he takes, you take back, checkmate. All right, very, very good job. That was pretty, for a new topic, that was pretty good. Okay, let's review what we talked about today. So starting off with notation. Each square has like its own name. This is A1, B6. This one is E4. This one is F7, etc., etc. Okay. And when you want to move a piece to a square, you say N or knight, D5. I think you guys have this part down. Just be a little bit more careful about what square it is, okay? Remember, from the left to right, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. From down to up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you just count how many like rows and columns over it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we learned about notation today, and then we also talked about tactics. So tactics, they're essentially like little things, tricks, essentially, that you can do to get the upper hand. Like we talked about like power spectrum that works like this. Queen is better than the rook, which is better than the knight and the bishop, which is better than the pawn. So our goal is we want to use these pieces to trade up. If we can trade this this pawn for a knight, that's good for us. If we can trade this bishop for a rook, that's good for us. If we can trade this knight for a queen, that's good for us. If we can trade rook for queen, that's good for us. So we want to use lesser pieces to get a bigger piece. That is the essence of tactics. We talked about double attacks, which, the name, double attack two things at once. Usually this is done with queen, rook, bishop, knight. Anything can do it, essentially, as long as it can attack like long diagonal. But the knight is very good at this. It can't be blocked, and no other piece has a move. So if you were to go like this, there's not a lot you can do because the queen just can't take this. And so you give a check, you attack two pieces. The opponent has to move the more important one, which in this case is the king. He moves it away, you get the free piece. That's double attack. You attack two pieces, opponent moves the more important one, but he can only move one per move, so you get to take the other one, and you get a better position. We talked about pins. Pins essentially work like this, where you have like a piece that's kind of stuck and you need to like either attack it a bit because it can't move, right? Because the king is behind it. Or you have like this scenario where you can just immediately take it, you make this move, and then your opponent realizes, wait, I can't move my queen because my king is behind it, so I have to sit here and wait for your bishop to eat it. And that's good for us. There's also the reverse. We call this skewers, where we use like the same idea, to kind of like laser downwards. We see, the king, the more important piece is in front of the less important piece. And so we'll be able to, take it downwards. Okay, when the king moves again, we get the queen. Okay, that's what we talked about today. So I know that was actually like a lot of material. So if you guys have any questions, please don't be scared to rewatch the video, and I don't know what comments are off. Add comments, or ask in class is fine as well. I'm very happy to answer questions during class. Okay. Yeah. For this week's homework, last thing for this week's homework, it will be a lot of puzzles, because these puzzles are really about recognizing patterns and seeing like different repeating things, and you'll be able to apply this to almost every game. You gain upper hand by doing tactics, and you essentially get the upper hand, and then you have to convert that upper hand into a victory, which is what we will be talking about in future classes. But for this week, that is all. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask now. But otherwise, if you have no questions, then yeah, class is over. So thank you guys for coming. All right, bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. All right, have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you, Vincent. Bye.
Bye.